Hello, everyone, and welcome to this explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here today. If you've ever felt that familiar rush of anxiety as tax season approaches, you are definitely in the right place. Today, we're going to completely simplify the Indiana state tax extension process. We're going to take all those complicated forms and confusing rules and break them down into clear, manageable steps so you can file with absolute confidence.
Did you know that missing the deadline for filing your state taxes in Indiana could lead to penalties? Stay with us to discover the exact steps you need to take to avoid that. There's literally nothing worse than facing an unexpected fine just because of a missed date on the calendar. By the end of our time together, you'll know exactly how to protect your wallet. Here is the quick roadmap we'll use to navigate this topic. We're going to cover the basics, walk through a step-by-step filing guide, highlight some common mistakes to avoid, and then wrap up with follow-up actions and helpful resources. Starting right off with Section 1, Indiana Tax Extension Basics.
Okay, let's dive into this. A lot of folks think extensions are only for specific taxpayers, or maybe just for people who owe a massive amount of money. But the truth is, pretty much anyone can get one, whether you owe money, you're breaking even, or you're actually expecting a refund. Now, we have to clarify the single most misunderstood concept in all of tax filing. Listen closely to this part. A tax extension is an extension of time to file your tax return. It is not an extension of time to pay any taxes owed. Let me repeat that. If you owe the state of Indiana money, that payment is fundamentally still due on the original April deadline. It just gives you more time for the paperwork.
While this standard eligibility rules apply broadly to most of us, we absolutely need to highlight that military personnel have specific automatic exceptions. If you're on active duty outside the U.S. and Puerto Rico, Indiana grants you an automatic 60-day extension. If you're serving in a presidentially declared combat zone, you get an automatic 180-day extension, and that clock starts after you leave the combat zone. Plus, if you happen to be hospitalized outside the U.S. due to your service, that 180-day extension starts the moment you're released from the hospital.
Moving on to Section 2, our step-by-step filing guide.
The process of filing is actually quite straightforward once you know where to look. First, you just have to figure out how you're applying. And honestly, Indiana is very generous here. If you've already filed for a federal extension, that's IRS Form 4868 by the April 15th deadline, Indiana automatically grants you a state extension. You don't even have to file a separate state form to get that extra time. It's totally seamless. However, if you didn't do a federal extension or you just prefer to file directly with the state, you'll need to file Indiana Form IT-9 to request your state extension.
Now, if you do need to file directly with Indiana, or if you need to make an extension payment, the state highly recommends using their electronic I-N-Time portal. It is completely secure, it totally eliminates postal delays, and the best part is you get an instant confirmation for your records. No guessing if it arrived. The workflow is just 4 main steps. You access the portal, select the correct extension form, verify your identity, and finally, declare whether or not you're making a payment right then.
When you hop onto the portal prior to that April deadline, just look for the public menu. You don't even need to be logged into a special account to get started. Just find the panel that says Individual Extension and click the link to Request Extension. Super easy.
Next up, you'll reach the IT-9 header information page. This is step 3 of the workflow. Here, you'll securely authenticate your identity by entering validation data like your primary ID type, which is usually just your social security number, along with your name and address. If you're filing jointly, you'll simply enter your spouse's information right there on the right side. This step is absolutely crucial because it ensures nobody else can make unauthorized modifications to your tax account. All right, let's jump into Section 3, Common Mistakes to Avoid. Now that you know how to file, we've got to talk about the most frequent pitfalls. And the absolute most crucial point to remember here is what we call the Rule of 90. Remember earlier when we said an extension is for filing, not paying? Well, Indiana law explicitly states that to avoid a late payment penalty, you must pay at least 90% of the tax you expect to owe by that original April deadline. If you guess wrong and say you only pay 85%, you're going to be on the hook for penalties. Let's break down exactly what those financial consequences actually look like. If you pay less than that magic 90% threshold by April 15th, you trigger a 10% late payment penalty on the amount you owe. If you completely fail to file a return at all and you don't get a valid extension, you're looking at a harsh 20% penalty. And here's the real kicker. Even if you do everything right and secure the extension perfectly, a 7% annual interest rate starts accruing the very next day, April 16th, on any unpaid balance. So that unpaid balance starts costing you extra money immediately. Which brings us to a major, very common mistake. Trying to calculate that 90% threshold using just your final pay stub instead of your official W-2s or 1099s. The Department of Revenue explicitly warns against doing this. Why? Because using a pay stub often results in severe inaccuracies. It just doesn't account for all your taxable events or official deductions. If your pay stub math is off, you might miss that 90% threshold. Your return gets delayed, and boom, you get hit with that 10% penalty. Do yourself a favor. Wait for your official documents to do your math.
Section 4. Important follow-up actions. So you filed the extension. Great. But filing the extension is absolutely not the end of the road. It literally just buys you time for the main event. Let's look ahead to the 2025 tax year, which you'll be filing in 2026. The original due date for filing and your payment is April 15th, 2026. Once you get that extension approved, your new extended deadline to actually submit the physical or electronic return document is pushed all the way back to November 16th, 2026. That gives you a full 7 extra months in Indiana to get your paperwork absolutely perfect. But, and this is a big but, you still have to close the loop to protect yourself. To ensure that 10% late payment penalty we talked about is successfully waived by the state, you must meet a specific trifecta of conditions by November. First, you must have paid that 90% by the original April due date. Second, you must successfully file the actual completed tax return by that extended November 16th deadline. And third, you must pay any remaining balance you owe, plus any of that accrued 7% interest in full at the exact time you file.
Finally, Section 5, Resources and Final Tips.
Okay, we are in the home stretch. I highly encourage you to bookmark a few of these resources so you can finish the job with total confidence. The InTime portal at intime.dor.indiana.gov is for sure your best friend for an immediate, electronic, and confirmed extension submission. Now, if you're a bit old school or just prefer doing things on paper, Form IT-9 is what you'll need to download and mail in. And of course, the primary Indiana Department of Revenue website is packed with FAQs and extra details if your personal tax situation has some unique wrinkles to it.
Before we completely wrap up, I do need to share a quick professional disclaimer. The content in this explainer is for informational purposes only. Taxes can be highly nuanced, and everyone's financial situation is totally unique to them. If you have a really complex situation, maybe multiple income streams, or you honestly just want some peace of mind, consulting a certified tax professional or CPA is highly recommended so you get advice tailored exactly to you.
Well, we've broken down the forms, we've mastered the rule of 90, and we've successfully navigated the timelines. Now that you have the complete roadmap in your hands, are you ready to conquer your Indiana state taxes stress-free and on time? You absolutely have the knowledge to take control of your filing this year. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Stay organized out there, get those extensions filed if you need them, and I will see you next time.